Growing Still is made on the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation, the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We acknowledge them and any other nations who care for the land, acknowledged and unacknowledged, recorded and unrecorded, as the past, present, and future caretakers of this land, traditional territory named Tikaranto, where the trees meet the water, the gathering place. We are youth that have come together and are settled on this land, creating this podcast. We do not support colonial forces that undermine, distort, or erase the vital role of Indigenous people in our world.
So a little warning about vulgarity throughout the podcast. Welcome to Growing Still, the podcast where anonymous youth share their voice.
I'm your host, Opal.
And I'm your other host, Clifford.
Recently, we've been talking a lot about fostering space.
If you guys recall, our last two episodes were on building trust and offering strategies, both very important topics, especially in relation to fostering space.
It's important that we close off fostering space with something special and underappreciated. Follow up and follow through.
Follow up and follow through. It's one of the last steps to get through this whole journey, but it's also probably the hardest. Getting someone to open up, to trust you, that by itself is so hard, but to maintain that, oh boy, now that's difficult.
What I would tell adults is please never give up on me or just like whoever the adult is. If it doesn't have to be a parent, it could be a teacher or just some type of mentor. Just please do not give up on a person who's dealing with mental health. It will take a lot of time to help someone who's going through mental health, just mentoring them and that kind of thing, but it's so much better when you know you actually helped improve someone's situation and you know that you're the one that helped improve that situation. So just do not give up no matter how long it takes for that situation to improve and for the person to become happier and have a more successful life.
It's all about consistency, Clifford. Sure, you can be there, but it's about maintaining that. You can't exclusively be there when shit hits the fan. It's about being there.
Consistently. Through it all. The good and the bad.
Now, all of this, it can sound very tasking.
Well, because it is, Opal.
It doesn't always have to be that way, though. With knowing the right tools, having the proper knowledge, this can be a very rewarding time and a rewarding experience.
Hey, Opal.
Yeah, Clifford?
This is when we start giving out these tools, these tips, and our experiences with it, huh?
Yeah, I know, Clifford. I think it is.
Celebrating accomplishments, no matter how significant they are, is something so overlooked. There have been times where I've been having a really bad day, and something as simple as catching my bus on time has completely made my day better. This recognition, it can mean so much when shit's tough. Fuck, even something like getting out of bed, taking a shower, or brushing your hair can be so difficult to do. So that push, that recognition, can be a glimmer of motivation. And when you feel like everything around you is slowly crumbling away, that glimmer can be the difference between staying in all day or getting up and starting to do something.
I want to come up with some cool analogy about tools, how you use a certain tool when building an IKEA desk versus the type of tool you'd use when constructing a bike, and somehow tie that in with mental health, but I'm not that clever, so instead I'll hand this off to Clifford.
Thanks, I guess. Okay, so mental health is super complex, a lot more than building some bike or even some IKEA desk. The tools to use vary from person to person, and it's constantly changing.
Just because mindfulness might work for someone for a few months doesn't mean it'll work forever, and recognizing that is so important. One time, I was having a mental breakdown, and my mom thought that I should try breathing exercises, so I did, and it worked. And then now whenever I have mental breakdowns or panic attacks, my mom says, do breathing, and whenever I try, they don't work, so nothing lasts forever.
I know for me, I'm a big music person, so just, putting on One thing I do a lot of the time is if I'm like feeling really sad or really angry or whatever, and I want to, feel better, I start with songs that match my current mood, and then I gradually get happier and happier with the songs until I'm actually at the mood that I want to be at. So that instead of like, because if you just go straight to putting on a happy song, a lot of the time it feels like it's kind of mocking you. Or like you're forcing it or whatever, but if you can kind of do it more gradually, it can help.
Now I think that closes off the topic of fostering spaces pretty well.
Next episode will be our first mini-sode. We'll be talking about harm reduction.
Share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Comment on how great we are, question our greatness.
If you have anything you want to ask us, you can leave a comment or email us directly at growingstillpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, and remember, it's okay if you're not where you want to be.
It just means you're growing still.